I greet my viewers with another message of liberal politics, and actually want to make some liberal comments about $700 billion bailout package, which is actually another attempt to spend federal money to recover losses that occurred during a financial market crisis in the United States. I believe that substance abuse, mostly, and corporate greed, and also the lack of regulations caused this financial crisis, which actually provoked that $700 billion federal bailout that probably will go to auto industry. But I believe that making rich people richer is the politics of some corrupt American politicians, which Republican President George Bush with neo-fascist signed. It's not the way to fix the economy. You see, corporate leaders of Chrysler and GM and Chevrolet, and Ford will just take those money and put them in their pocket, and when they will close down factories and plants. Though Yahoo led right-wing extremist neo-fascist press tried to manipulate the American public into believing that $700 billion bailout package will help American workers to keep their jobs. It's another lie of American right-wing press. It's another lie that $700 billion package will help workers. It will never help no American workers. It will have to close down all those plants, because all that money will go to corporate leaders. Will help corporate leaders only to pocket all those government ordered bailout, which went to GM about $5 billion. And actually, after that, corporate leaders of GM, General Motors and Chrysler will close down the factories and will send the workers home unemployed. So that any presumption of CNN and our Western press that corporate leaders will keep plants going, right-wing press, in order to justify this outrageous neo-fascist help to corporate American imperialists, in order to make them rich people richer, is actually the politics which I condemn. I demand that U.S. Congress, which I address with liberal message, should actually spend those bailout, $700 billion bailout, to buy progressive technology. To spend money on technocratic revolution in the United States, U.S. Congress, led by Democrats, should actually resort to bipartisan politics of technical innovation, which may be upheld by congressional Republicans and Democrats alike. And I believe that the package of technocratical innovation should include also electrical vehicles built en masse in most viable and competitive manner, so that newly built electrical vehicles should cost about the same price as gasoline-powered sedan, cost about $16,000 as average price sticker. And also I believe that such vehicles should have speed at least 140 miles an hour. I also propose the $700 billion package should go to raise actually unemployment benefits, and the price of unemployment benefits, as workers are left with very low unemployment benefits and welfare payments are too low. This bailout package should go to the needy and impoverished American citizens in order to help them survive. But U.S. Congress did very reactionary politics, very reactionary job in order to make rich people richer, and gave money to corporate leaders of GM so that built mansions and robbed those corporations. They demanded like millions of dollars in corporate bailout money as their own wages. So with practically stealing money from the poor American workers and giving it to the rich people is probably the politics of U.S. Congress. But I believe that such reactionary politics of American Congress should stop, and with such congressional leaders like Nancy Pelosi, congressional, or Denis Kucinich, our congressional leader, they should have get involved and should have stopped this corporate bailout of rich corporate leaders, so that would be able to close down those plants and factories if they receive any federal money from federal government. It's a lot of help to fat cats, you know. It doesn't go to American workers. It only provoke massive closures of those automotive plants and provoke bankruptcies of such already bankrupt and corporation like Ford. Ford Corporation took loss about $7 billion repeatedly for years, but it never got closed because they expected to receive corporate help probably from United States Congress. And I believe that such national socialist politics of Republican President George Bush and Republican-led Congress is now examples that right-wing extremists such as George Bush are capable of wasting taxpayers' money and to make rich people rich and steal from workers and to provoke closures of automobile industry, closures of manufacturing in the automotive US industry of GM, Chrysler, and Ford, in order to make corporate leaders even richer. We just makes proof that those American imperialists who got stuck in Congress for years, Edward Kennedy, who served more than 30 years, you know, and being paid money by those imperialists who financed his campaign in violation of anti-bribery laws. It's all another result of this reactionary politics of making rich people rich instead of paying for technocratic inventions such as discovery of alien intelligence through building video feed telescope and building electrical vehicles, or let's say making welfare payment larger and paying more money to welfare recipients, to unemployment benefit recipients. But those rich people who make $170,000 in Congress, and the same thing to Barack Obama, who just was hired by Chicago Industries Crown to be a community organizer and being a corrupt imperialist. For them, probably working class plight doesn't mean anything, you know. If they just sold out to the rich and powerful and they see that they will be in the loss, they lose their own savings, life savings, to every single penny of it, and will become losers, and those congressmen, because they, if they conduct reactionary politics that only benefit rich people and give bailout only to the rich, they will be the ultimate losers, because they lose their happiness, they will lose their purpose in life, they will lose their ability to experience pleasure, and they will eat low quality products and watch boring movies and maybe lose their savings in a financial past and lose their property values. So if U.S. Congress wants to benefit only rich people, it's an American tragedy, which actually will result in a total loss of financial markets. I believe that if United States want to make rich people richer and paying money to corporate leaders of GM, Chrysler, and Ford, which are long-time bankrupts and simply refuse to admit it, you know, they refuse to file bankruptcy because they know that they corrupt Republican and Democratic, some Democratic leaders will probably pay like George Bush, a corrupt neo-fascist, who signed $700 billion bailout package, just wanted to pay rich people extortion money for them to build mansions and to hire prostitutes, like was Republican President George Bush, who is a wretched prostitute to American imperialism, and should condemn as such, who illegally seized power in the year 2000 when he lost the popular vote to conservative Democrat Al Gore, and when he lost the electoral college by 150 ballots minus. And actually, if you are not neo-fascist justices like William Rehnquist, who committed coup d'etat and brought Republican neo-Nazi George Bush to power, there wouldn't be no 9/11 bombings. As George Bush said once, he whacked 4,000 New York Jews, as he said on CNN a few years ago. And I believe if America follow the course of neo-fascism, and it will lose its ability to experience pleasure and become most boring and most ruined and destitute nation on earth. So that right-wing extremism of George Bush and bailout to very should stop. Instead, U.S. Congress should finance technological inventions such as electrical vehicles, discovery of alien intelligence with the help of building a super telescope, of video feed and laser beam and vacuum magnificator. So I believe that technological progress should be paid. Money should go to the scientists, not to the rich people.